The word Mudu means knowledge. Let us join together without prejudice and an open mind. Welcome to the Mudu effect.
The Meditu effect, and tonight, special guest, which I am absolutely honored to have. I'm literally like a little kid over here giggling while the music was playing. I'm kind of doing this head bobbing. I don't want anybody to see me dancing because we're recording this to put on YouTube. We have him, Netjer. So, thank you for
awesome. Thank you for having
you
us. We're excited.
Happy to be here.
Everybody here at Cosmos Astrum and the listeners, everybody's excited to have you here. Yeah, and you get to see me wrestle with my beard in the microphone.
Excellent. Good problems to have, right?
Yeah. My daughter keeps threatening to cut it off, and I'm like, no. So we got the welcomes out of the way. So introduce yourselves for everybody.
All right. So I am Raven Rissi. I am one of the main writers for the band, as well as lead female singer. I do all the graphic design work and artwork and organize queen extraordinaire. That's me, all the hats.
And weird instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And weird instruments. I play all the weird instruments. Yes, that'd be me.
Next.
I'm David. I make the synthy sounds. I do a bunch of the electronic writing and rhythm and some songwriting. Sometimes we collaborate in those ways too, but sometimes it just comes to Rissi and then, then it happens. I'm one thing I always have to say, because we haven't played live yet, I'm really looking forward to is being able to play the synths, like not just in front on a keyboard, but in my own way. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we might talk about that more in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Be revealed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm Jesse Elliott. I'm a throat singer. And when I found these two a couple years ago, it was just fit in right away. It was just a natural. I really liked what they were doing. And I said, hey, can I join? And they're like, yeah, let's do it.
So I have to say, excuse me, everybody's going nuts in Discord.
Thank you guys.
Hello, everybody.
We're not on Discord right now, but thank
we
you.
can't see all the questions, but
you've got everywhere between the Jared with yes, my queen, to the squealing, to everybody's excited to have you on. So
thank you guys. Awesome. We really appreciate you.
So I opened with The Void, which, like I said before we came on air, personal preference. I'm controlling the mixer board, so nobody can dispute it.
Excellent. That's what I say when I'm DJing too.
Nice. So let's get to know you a little bit better as far as you as individuals. I know what you bring to the group, but as you as an individual, it's much personal information. I don't want the long locks and the sunset on the beach. That is a favorite of mine. But what's some of the things that you like doing as an individual?
All right, Dave.
Dave starts.
Dave starts.
So, as you may hear, I am not from Canada. People can't tell anymore. It's been 10 years. I've been here for 10 years, but I moved from Germany. I'm from southern Germany, so that's where I grew up.
All right, we're both from the south. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Deep south. Germany's a lot smaller, but it counts. It's about half the size of British Columbia, so that's always pretty funny. And I do very much enjoy living here, though, and a lot of the things that I've experienced, especially over the pandemic, I think what I keep saying kept me sane was actually being able to get out into the mountains and just spend as much time outdoors as I can, and which has actually been quite inspiring for a lot of the things in the writing and for the music as well, and how like the sounds come together, how we try to incorporate different instruments with the digital sounds. That was a really rewarding experience. Yes. I do program for a living, which is kind of important because there is a technological part to it that plays into all of what I do as well. I'm kind of like to think that we can use technology responsibly and intentionally if we work, like really pay attention to it and really use it in a human way, not just in the way that some algorithm tells us to. And I'm very much looking forward to performing some of the things I've been working on for the performance part as well, to play them finally live, which is like, I wrote some software to do gesture controls because I have this beautiful staff. A good friend of ours made it, and Rissi,
I love it.
Talk to him. It's
you can see them in the Otherworld music video.
I'm drooling over it.
For the longest time, I've been like, I wanna play the synth, and then eventually I was like, I want to play my staff, because you can't really bring a synth. You're an electronic musician too, right? You can't really bring it to the campfire and just like a guitar and just jam it out and just play a song. So for the longest time, I've had this like idea. It's been probably like 3 years at least, that I want to bring those sounds just to the campfire and to the stage as well. So it was really, really amazing to finally see all of that come together. And the first time I've done it in the practice, I was like, all right.
Oh,
this
you guys.
is it. And the beauty about this is like, you can bring it, like it's portable, so I can bring it, and it's not, there's no keys, there's no screen in the way, there's no keys in the way. You're just there doing the music, and you're just in the sounds and the music. So I'm very, very excited to actually do that, play that live. So yeah, that's my story so far.
So for me, where do I start? What do I do besides the band?
You went to Egypt.
Everything. No. So I actually finished my degree, my second degree in 2020 when the pandemic started, in art history, archaeology, and Egyptology, which was one of the influences as to how this band got started halfway through how the ideas got started, I should say, halfway through my degree. And so with my degree, I went over to Cyprus and I did an archaeological dig there of a late Bronze Age dig site, which was interesting, really dirty and really hot. Not for me, but I did it anyways. And then I also went to Turin, Italy, actually before everything got crazy, a few months before everything got crazy. So good timing there. And I was working in an Egyptology museum in the Museo Egizio there for a field school for about 5 weeks. So that was amazing. And I got a lot of inspiration as well for the first EP, because that EP specifically is Egyptian themed. Not the new album we're working on is not Egyptian themed at all, but that EP specifically was, because that's how this whole band concept kind of got started through my degree. What else do I do? Band stuff, lots of band stuff. No, I'm a visual artist as well. I have a degree in graphic design. I did that for many, many years. So I do lots of painting, drawing. I went to art school for that. So I do a lot of that stuff. Kind of obsessed with The Witcher, Skyrim, kind of amazing. Bit of a video game nerd.
Most of us are.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm practicing Norse pagan. I've been doing that for many years now with our lovely little group we have here in Vancouver in the Lower Mainland. They're wonderful, wonderful people. It's been an interesting journey. We could talk about more of that sometime. um, but yeah, it's been fun. The pandemic's been weird, but we've worked through it, and
This is
it's
how all of this came.
and this is how all of this came together. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we wouldn't have this band. So I'm very, very grateful for it. So
Nice.
that we have the band.
that we have,
Not
yes,
the
yes,
pandemic.
that we have the band, not the pandemic. Oh my God, no. Well, maybe in a really weird backwards way, but
Yeah,
no,
no,
the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I'm pretty much a normal guy. I'm married, happily married, and I
guess.
work a day job. I do billboards. So every day I get to go outside and enjoy the weather, whatever it decides to be that day.
Yeah.
So
And practice threats.
and practice throat singing from on top of the billboards and make a little
No.
YouTube video on Facebook or something. Yeah, so I'm really happy. I think that's the thing. I only just started throat singing a few years ago.
How did you get into it?
Well, I guess how it started was, it's kind of interesting because I wasn't always happy after high school, kind of, just kind of internally not know what's going on. I didn't know who my biological father was, and I tell this story all the time. But eventually, I met my wife, and she got me to do the DNA test. We found him. And she also got me to go to a metaphysical store where I did a lot of sound healing. And I used a lot of energy from finding my father. I got a lot of happiness from it because he's a very good guy and he inspired me, and so a lot of that energy that I had, that positive energy, I just channeled into throat singing as soon as I discovered that that's what I wanted to do. Because I discovered it when I was looking into sound healing, thinking that might be something to do. So
Here we are.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, and it's hard, but in all my days of hard labor, I learned that what the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. So any kind of tough things that you have to get done, whether it's hard or whatever, it builds you up. It makes you stronger.
Mhm.
So I knew right away when I found throat singing, I can do that. I just practiced and practiced. I practice every day. Whoever you are, whatever you want to do, just get into it. Just go for it because, it makes you happy.
Exactly.
It's like I've been asked, with my crazy schedule with the Medutu Effect and Cosmos Astrum Radio and work, I have a day job and
Yeah, me
family
too.
life, everything, and all this, stuff. How do I find time to do ritual time, the me time?
Yeah.
And it's because, just like what you said, it's, you continually do it. Now, I used to do it every single night, but now it's like just on Saturdays, and it's late at Saturday night when we live close to some train tracks, so I have to time that perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I have really found useful for me is I've decided that I'm in love with the moon. So I've been following her cycles. So I'm aware of when she's new. I'm aware of when she's full, and I know when she's waxing, and I know when she's waning. And I even look at my app. If I don't know, I just look at it, and I pick a meditation for that cycle. So in the new moon, I just empty all my thoughts and I find something like, for example, this last one was alignment. So whenever I'm just whatever stressed or what, think about alignment. And so many things went on this cycle. Like it was just an energetic connection pool.
That's awesome.
And it's starting to wind down now. So I'm going to start to plan my next one soon.
Yeah.
The moon is a great mathematician. Like she's perfectly timed all the time, right? It's a good guide for me anyway.
Totally. Yeah, I totally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to share a quick moon story for you.
Okay.
I was younger, and I've always been part of the occult family type thing. And it was getting off of work. I was like turning, I think 18, something like that. And all my friends were like, what are you going to do for your birthday? And I'm like, I'm just going to go to the beach, get stoned, and I'm just going to watch the lunar eclipse. And
Mm.
I lived on the Gulf Coast. So I'm sitting there and just literally getting stoned, waiting for the lunar eclipse. And all of a sudden, a friend of mine steps over the dune of sand, and he says, "How much longer you got?" Scared the crap out of me. I mean, you're paranoid already, and
Yeah.
So I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Is it time yet?" And I said, "Well, now it is." And then you hear yells, "Fire it up!" And we're not talking about an episode of the show. Uh, so when I stand up, I had my staff with me, and when I stand up, I step over top of the dune, and they lit up this big fire circle with right at the edge of the water, right below the lunar eclipse.
Mm,
That was like the best birthday present ever.
that's
Mm.
awesome.
They
Nice.
said,
That's
"Do your
awesome.
stuff."
That's awesome. But
Oh,
yeah, I totally understand about the trying to find time to do ritual when you have,
Mhm.
like you said, work and band and stuff. And yeah, it can be difficult. I don't know. For me, I end up getting nudged by my patron a little bit. He tends to, hey, you're not doing anything. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay. So I kind of go on into like my inner intuition and, or if you're saying like listening to a song or reading a book and are like, oh, I should do a thing, write that down. You're going to do the thing later. So,
actually, real quick, we got a couple of questions that popped in here.
Mm.
We're going to get to those shortly. So that way I'm saying it out loud so people in Discord don't realize that I'm ignoring them. So, well, are there any musicians that you find that inspired you over the years?
so many.
I mean, yeah. The one we have to put first is the one we're also working with,
Yes.
to me, which is
Yes.
Scott Fox, who is doing From My Garden Sphere, who is doing the production for us, and a lot of like the drum magic that was something that we've haven't like didn't always work the way we wanted it to. So it was really nice to like work with him and be like, hey, can we? But then we sent him the first demos and he was like, this is great. Can I go nuts like in production? And I was like, yes, please.
Please do,
And
Scott.
it's been really nice to work with. Like we've known him for a while.
Mhm.
Very
It's
long
been really,
time.
really nice to work with somebody who you look up to and who also like has something to bring really powerful to the table.
Yeah.
Right? Because the
And
songs were
And who
not.
gets it?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
songs didn't really like change, but then got elevated to that next
Mhm.
level
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
none of us would have like, yeah, at the end, the sum of the parts, I keep saying that was always bigger than
Yeah.
like the whole was definitely bigger than the individual pieces. So always have to bring that up first, and it's wonderful that we can continue working with him.
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, for me, besides Ivarden Sphere, I listen to a lot of dark folk such as like Wardruna, Forndam, Danheim. That's our cat in the background. I apologize if you hear the yelling. He's also our
thought it
band
was my
manager. It's our cat. It's
Oh,
Matthew the Void Cat because he's our lovely little black
He always
monster.
does that, of course.
Aw.
He's our biggest critic. This is Matthew. Yes.
Mhm.
But no, so like bands like Wardruna, Danheim, Forndam, Faun. There's a lot of I listen to a lot of that stuff as well, besides of the electronic side. And for me, it was always like, I love these bands, and they're almost dancey enough to play on a DJ night, but not quite. And so I started looking. I'm like, what are other bands like? Are there bands that are like this that are dancier, like a faster beat? And I couldn't at the time really find much. So I'm like, I'm gonna make something. So here we are.
Nice.
But yeah, those stuff like that, like Solve, Hex, there's so many, Diary of Dreams,
Yes.
many bands that, I could go on and on for hours for, but yeah. And you have some too.
Yes, I would have to say that I was really led by the Tuvans in the Central Asia. So they are the ones that have kept throat singing alive for many generations. naturally. They're very pastoral people, animistic, shamanic.
Yeah.
They have a lot of spirits within the nature, and a lot of their sounds that they recreate, they originally are trying to emulate the natural sounds,
Yeah.
whether thunder or the creek or whatever. So, and they've elevated their throat singing. Like, they have worldwide competitions once a year. Their whole society is based on throat singing, and they're amazing. Giants. So there's so many of them that I could mention. There's another guy by the name of Soraya. He's an inspiration to me. He lives down in Portland, and he's so talented. There's quite a few throat singers out there that have been burgeoning into the scene slowly but surely. The Who has done very well.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people like them. They're doing great. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Kybers Pass?
I'm sorry?
Kybers Pass.
No,
you have to link that to me.
Yeah, it's
100%.
It's a female throat singer. She also has this melodical voice, but it's all industrial.
I need to hear this.
We need to know this.
I need to know
my
this
goodness.
right away. Sorry.
Yeah, they're one of our favorites on the station that plays regularly. Also, Nitland.
Yes, I love Nitland.
Yes,
oh my
they're
goodness,
very good.
very much
Had
so.
some
good.
wonderful
Yeah.
conversations with them, and there's
Good for you. That's lucky.
both of them, the husband and wife. They're amazing
Yes,
individuals.
are.
yes, very much so.
Yeah, she's very good. They're both very good throat singers.
Yes, but since if I don't have it on here, I'm gonna be mad. I've got it on here. Since I've been to Egypt and you've been to Egypt, we're gonna throw Anubis on.
Oh,
Yay.
yay. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Anubis. I think I saw the best comment ever critique to this song
Oh,
ever.
oh no.
If this song was a person, I would do naughty things with it.
Why, thank you. Come see us live. Oh, I love
Oh
it.
my gosh, that is the best. Wow.
Thank you, person on the internet.
That was from our lovely Rainbow Pagan, from the Rainbow Pagan Hour.
Thank you.
Sounds like you have a good group of people.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. It's amazing broadcasters and supporters of the station. It's just over the top. So, listening to we were talking about this off air, but listening to the lyrics, and are they inspired by your individual paths? Because
Yes, the answer is yes.
Well, for Anubis, do you want to pick up on that?
Yeah.
That's your
Okay,
bit
so Anubis, because I studied Egyptology, I always wanted to read and write Middle Egyptian. And so I finally, in my last semester, my last year, was able to take the class. And we only did basic intro because it's a really, really hard dead language. And so for Anubis, I was like, it'd be really cool to sing in Middle Egyptian. No one's ever done that. So I wrote it in Middle Egyptian.
And we made a hieroglyph music video.
And we made the hieroglyph lyric music video. So it's only in hieroglyphs. There's no English, no nothing. But basically that song is about summoning Anubis. So yay, light things. But yeah, so a lot of the songs are definitely influenced by my me and Dave, well, all of us really, but our spiritual, what's have happened to us, like Otherworld is very near and dear to my heart. It's Dave's is Solar Tide. Otherworld really is about my experiences when I've been doing shamanic journey work and trying to describe that in a audio sense, not a visual, but like in what you hear type sense, trying to just bring that to life, bring those stories to life. So a lot, even in this new album coming up, a lot of them are that. There are some days, like our one song Elemental Cry, that will be up on the new album. Dave wrote this really awesome synth line. It was all good, and we put it together, and then I was listening to it at the kitchen table, and I literally had this, I sound crazy when I say this, but this literally I was there in this moment writing this song, and it's not a happy song, but it felt real, and so that's where some of that inspiration from the lyrics behind some of this does come from.
I think the important thing though is that it doesn't, except for the Egypt theme, which is, I think, the newer ones are not a specific path. So
yeah,
I think we always like the idea of having it resonate in the way that goes with whatever your practice is, because we all have different paths that we're practicing and going down. And I think that reflecting that in the music and not having it be specific about something is pretty important to us.
I like how generally the music starts with Rissi's prose, I would say, your writing, and it's always conjuring up some sort of story from the past or what have you. Even the stuff we got stuff that's in the bank for the future. Like even before this album is almost done production, but Rissi's
like
already
6 new songs.
Yeah, she's already written down audio wise more songs.
Yeah.
And so that's the beginning. That's the seed, I would say. The story, and then Dave fleshes it out with all of his things.
And then you add all of the spice and everything nice on top. Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm just the spread on the top.
Oh, no, it's important. You're the garnish. It makes everything come together.
Yeah, like, you need salt and pepper.
It's true.
You need a little flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
spice it up.
And how I think I add to it too is just, for me, the throat singing has been a healing thing.
Yeah.
Because I've never been a singer. In fact, I was told I couldn't sing. I'm tone deaf. And I mean, I think a lot of people struggle with these basic things like, oh, I'm not a musician, I'm not this, I'm not that. Well, we all have voices, and so it just feels so good to express myself, and that's all that I'm giving with my music. I'm just letting it out, and the brain can learn how to sing in tune. The brain can learn how to sing in key. If you just practice, you can feel the difference when you're off and when you're on, because everything's resonating.
Yeah,
totally. So I'm not even trying to do it anymore. My brain knows what to do.
I want to point out all of you together is literally the epitome of, I'll say 90% of my lectures, that how many different paths can pretty much stand on the same stage and create one harmonic voice. It's beautiful. But I'm going to throw on another song real quick, primarily because you brought it up a minute ago, and I was like tossing back and forth. And I'm like, what are we going to do? So I'm going to go with Red Sky by Soria.
Okay, yes. I know this one. This one's amazing. Sorry, guys.
No,
I might not have heard it yet, but
no, I haven't heard it yet, but we'll listen to it after.
Okay, and I want to really get into the alchemical process on this, and we've got some questions that are piling up for you. So I wanted to get this one. I got a couple other songs I want to throw in here, mostly because of your inspirations. But okay, we'll throw Soria with Red Sky. It helps to unmute on the mixer board, even though okay. So let's talk a little bit about. Okay, it's obvious. All of us have our different paths, and but at the end of the day, we may all have separate paths, but we all have very similar views. But there's always this level of alchemy, whether it's internal, external, transformation, transmutation, whatever, how you want to look at it. The three of you are the epitome of an alchemical process. Not only externally, but internally. And in the way when I used to be on stage, I used to look at it as projecting out to the audience so that they would send money, send that energy back. And it was a trade-off. And with your songs, you can literally feel that. And so the whereas I had to be on stage for someone to feel that. So with your process, and you kind of went through it earlier, but with the process of the alchemical process, this is just an observation, and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Everybody's got opinions, you know how that is. But literally, the whole process, the way you describe it, is almost literally like I'm going to make a blend, and I need the bass, I need the medium, and I need the highs. And in this blend, I throw it all into the mortar and pestle, and it's got to be blended together until it's just right. And that's what the process, literally, the way you described it, seems like it is to me. Is together you are the mortar and pestle, and each of you bring those different ingredients in there. Is that a fair assessment? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Like Dave was saying earlier, this project is more than just, my crazy ideas. Like even with the music videos we make, and the photography, like Joey Chaos is our videographer, and I go, "Hey Joey, I have this crazy idea. How do we do this?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, we'll just film it like this, and this," and then it happens, And so I could never. I'm not a videographer. I'm not trained in that. I don't know how to do that, And so having these people like Joey and Scott Fox and David Jacklin, the photographer, they really working with everybody. It's a community based thing, and relying on and trusting and relying on those who do that's what they do, that's what they're good at. And you can't just do it by just one person. You have to remove that ego, and you have to be able to share it with with those people, and those people who get it and understand. And then it is, because I've been in other projects where that didn't happen and it just fizzles out. So it's been,
it's just a struggle, and it was so nice. So one thing I was going to add about the process is like, this is a pandemic project, so we didn't see Jesse in person until the day before we recorded our first 5 songs. It's like, "Hey Jesse, nice to meet you, let's practice the songs, we're going to record them tomorrow." But it was so nice because we, even at the practice, we were like, "Yeah, this just works." Like, there's nothing like, "Oh, what if he's like doesn't get it," or anything. It just all worked. And that was the same thing with like the video, the recording, the production, like every step of that process. It was so amazing to see that
it just fit.
Once everybody can roll with it and has the idea and can roll with it, it's amazing what people do. I think I'm still always stunned every time I like look at my own music videos. I'm like, I'm pretty proud of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have definitely shed a few tears when I have seen the final products, going, "Oh my God, my ideas have come to life." Yeah.
Well, it's just like, so we make incense here, and sometimes we experiment with blends. Some of them don't come out very well. I mean, it's just like songwriting, you're putting things together. But you put the blends together, and when you actually start burning it, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's that what I'm looking for." And now I could have done that in a really deep voice for the Rainbow Pagan, but
I think I need to get to know this person.
he's amazing. Actually, like I said, everybody, all the broadcasters are, and the listeners. By the way, speaking of listeners, I want to thank BC for tuning in. Saskatchewan, New York. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you all for listening. I couldn't imagine sharing a more amazing interview with everybody. We've got some more coming up, but this is one very dear to my heart. And
thank you guys.
It's really great to meet you.
Yes, it means a lot. Thank you for your support.
I'm going to read to you. This is not on. Yes, I'm working off of notes. All right, everybody knows I'm a scatterbrain squirrel, but I'm going to read you a quote, and which is: gaining knowledge by defining our own individual paths through exploration without fear, prejudices, and sharing the experience with respect. That is actually the Moody to Effect slogan. And
Lovely.
everything that you just talked about,
Lovely.
you step into these different realms, you experiment without fear. You don't look at a biased opinion. You're and sharing the experience with everybody. You're literally the epitome. You're the poster kids of the Medico
Aw.
effect. What am I talking about
Aw,
here?
thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Those are very kind words.
So, real quick, since we have 7 minutes left, and I do want to squeeze one more of your songs in, Otherworld. Oh yeah, and the questions. Oh my gosh! Before everybody starts posting nasty comments in Discord, so I gave you a heads up on some of the questions regarding Norse paganism. How do you
Yes.
personally deal with the negative associations from fringe extremist groups?
Yeah, so I just don't put up with it, period, because it's not okay. End of sentence. No, there's a really amazing book by a friend of mine. He lives down in the Seattle area, called Ryan Smith, and his book is The Way of Fire and Ice. And what he came out a few years ago, and what I really like about that book is in the second half of it, he talks about if you're new and you want to learn people, you want to get to know people, you want to learn about Norse stuff or anything in general. But he comes from a Norse, that's what he practices, so that's what he uses as for his examples. But he wrote in there what to look out for, what to watch for online, in person, symbols, this and this and that. And I found that that's the first book of all in that context that I've read that's actually, if you don't know what to look for, this is things to not go to not watch for. Don't, if you see these types of things, or you see a person acting like this, or you see these types of symbols, don't go there, especially because you're right, it is clouded quite a bit, especially with things being online. It's hard to tell until you get into it, so I highly recommend that book because it really did lay out very, very nicely what to look for and what to watch out for. But yeah, we just, honestly, I just don't put up with it.
He put out a statement for
Yeah.
groups to use.
Yeah.
We have that on our About page.
And on our
look it up.
Facebook page. Yeah.
Just on that, this is a path that should be open to anybody, no matter how you look and
Where you're from doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
I think that's really important, and it's important for everybody, like for us to speak up for that.
Yeah.
So that the wrong people don't get all the
notoriety.
Notoriety,
Yeah. It's definitely, but yeah, no, I don't put up with it. I'd hesitate a little bit to use certain terminology around new groups of people because people can misconstrue things. But once you get to know people, I think it's really, to me anyways, that you can really see it comes out fairly quickly what side of the area they're on. So hopefully, honestly, read that book. It's really wonderful. He's a great guy.
One of the a couple of the comments here is, that's great advice. It's actually how I vet Christians as well.
100%. Yep.
What was the other one? Great answer. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Allison just posted the statement in the. Is that the book link? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see, what was the other one? Oh yeah, Jenny from Nocturne. She's our goth queen.
Yay.
Says my husband is part of the Heathen Confederation of Canada. Are you familiar with that?
No, but maybe I should be. Find me on Facebook. We should talk.
Also, the same person. I'm just going to brag about her instead. She, going back to Jesse's statement, she picked up the guitar. She really never considered herself a musician, and she dedicated herself, practicing and continually, and she has been amazing at it.
Yay!
That's it's the same concept. You don't think you can do that. It's like I tell my daughter all the time. Don't think you can do something.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And share it with your friends. Like to share it around the fire.
Yes.
I know it's scary. I started learning the guitar last year too, so I know how scary it is to actually like do something that you're not comfortable with, and just share it with your friends, because that's what it's for. That's what music is for.
And be vulnerable and being open, you know, like even
that makes you a musician.
It does.
Period.
Yeah. Even, you know, singing on stage, doing all these crazy songs, and friends are like, do this song around the fire, and I'm like, oh no. So yeah, it's being vulnerable is hard, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah,
so.
I would add fear is a good navigating tool for that. If you want to do it but you're afraid, it's because you should do it.
Yeah.
And once you get over that fear and you get on there, then it's the best reward, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny you should say that, because that's one of the latest topics. I'm getting an echo for some reason. One of the topics that we've been talking about is how people use fear as control.
Very much so.
But it's also within yourself.
Yes.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
But we're going. She's saying I could play 3 whole songs to stop it.
Yay! That's more than me.
So we're going to close out with Otherworld. Let everybody know how they can track you down.
Yes.
All right. So the spiel, you can find us from our website at hemnetjer.band. And at the very top, it has all of our social media links to Facebook, Spotify, Bandcamp, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Bandcamp is where you can buy all of our music, and all of it goes directly towards the artist. I have merch, handmade bone merch that I found myself in the forest and cleaned up, all ethically sourced for all you crazy pagans out there who love bones just as much as me. You know, right? But yeah, you can find all of our stuff on there. You can find all of our upcoming concert dates, and all that good stuff. So hemnetjer.band.
Well, after we don't go anywhere, once the song ends, we'll have to chat about our skull that we have in our library here.
Ooh, excellent.
Thank you so much. Much love to you all. Please be safe. And until next week, good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.